Okay, we're getting started with my very first meal planning workshop here on Zoom. So, first of all, huge thank you for everyone who jumped on tonight. I just did this as a pop up event. There was a change in my schedule, but I just feel really encouraged, inspired, and passionate about this. And I have for a while, but wanting to give people more tangible steps to get dinner on the table easier. And I'm starting in this group because I know most of you know and are familiar with Epicure and likely have some meal packs. And so, what I want to do is empower you and encourage you how to use those to, first of all, just flat out enjoy good food and have your family around the table, but also doing it in a ways that are reducing the stress, just reducing your decision fatigue and the costs associated with it. So, of course, if you don't know me, I am Stacie Woodworth. I am a busy, like everyone, busy mom, wife, and I work full time. And so for me, meal planning means just looking ahead at what this week has in store for me and how can I plan some meals. Because what I really want at the end of the day is to be connecting back with my family, sharing about our day. And it oftentimes, if I don't have a plan, instead it's spent stressing or I'm just flat out tired because of the other 10,000 decisions that I've made today. And then you get to the dinner time and it's just not as enjoyable. Can anybody relate to that? Does anybody else have that desire to, right? Like just have one more thing done and checked off on your list so that you can be enjoying that time in the kitchen. You can be enjoying that time with your family. And again, I believe that when you're eating well, you feel well, and then that allows you to show up well in those different roles as a mom, as a wife, as a neighbor, as a sister, as a employee, as a leader, like all of those hats that you wear. It starts with giving yourself good nutrition. So I boiled this down basically to 3 easy steps for meal planning. So one, plan. We're going to talk more about each one of these, but it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Plan, shop, and cook. So an interesting statistic that I've referenced frequently. So if you've been around, you know this, that I will talk about. I don't know why this. Right. I hope this is still working. I keep getting a message.
No, you're good. You haven't cut out
Okay,
at
thank you.
all.
Thank you. Sorry. So I've referenced this statistic before, but 80% of us don't know what's for dinner come 4 o'clock at night. And that's no shame. Like that's a statistic, but we can do something about that with just really simple steps. And kudos to those people that they can meal plan for a month and they can do all of that. But what I want to do is to help you tonight lead with a plan for next week, or at least feel inspired that you can make a plan this weekend and have the next few meals be really great. So again, when we are planning, first of all, it's going to reduce stress. Anybody ever get home from your busy day and now you're flat out hangry? No one knows the answer to the dreaded what's for dinner question. And it's just, maybe it's just been one of those days, right? You've made a lot of other decisions or you've just had other stuff on your plate and it just makes for a stressful thing. Maybe you're just exhausted from the whole winging it thing. You think, oh, I'll just be able to put something together at the end of the day. And then again, you get home, something that you thought was in the fridge is no longer there, or something that you thought out for dinner is not thawed. So exhaustion from that. And again, when we don't plan, it's expensive. So food waste is a big thing. I loved this statistic. When I heard this, this is probably one of the main reasons I was encouraged to start this many, many years ago. So, did you know that the average American family of 4 wastes upwards of $1,400 a year in food costs? What would your family do with an extra $1,400 this year? I don't know about you, but when I heard that statistic, I thought of trips. I thought of memories. I know it can be paying off debt. It can be paying for sports, home improvements. Like there's so many things that we could do better with $1,400 than put it into the trash can, right? So that is why I love to help people meal plan. One of the things I want to encourage you is that this gets better with practice. So most of us are now walkers. Congratulations. You didn't figure it out the first time you did it though. So when you start to meal plan and when you start to try this out, it may not feel perfect in the beginning. Stick with it. Just like learning to walk, this is something that can be a mode to really change your health, your finances, and again, just create really great time for your family around the kitchen. So is any of this resonating so far? Am I doing okay? Are you guys keeping up? Again, you can feel free to comment along in the comments. And I'm going to do some draw prizes later, but I'm just wanting to know like if that's hitting for you guys. Also, when we're talking about planning, you get to decide how that looks, but it's much like putting an appointment on your calendar. You're going to hold that appointment, going to a doctor's appointment, meeting up with a friend for lunch, going to your niece's softball game. Carve out that block of time on your schedule where you can meal plan, knowing that it's going to give you time freedom later in your week. Also, when you plan, this allows for healthy meal planning, a variety. And for those of you that have littles, it can invite your family to get involved and help them take an active role in not only prepping the food, but picking what's for dinner so that you're not the one that always has to think about what is for dinner. You can be the one that cooks. I know for a lot of us, like I don't actually mind the cooking part. It's the part where every night just trying to come up with like, what does everybody want to eat? So invite your family to get involved. Again, this can be a great time to connect as a family with meal planning, but then also meal prep. And then when we're talking about planning, by no means am I talking about every night needs to be a different dinner. If time allows, I'm going to show you one meal that you could do multiple different ways. And this also doesn't have to be that every night you're having a hot dinner. This season is so great for meal planning and meal prep. Grill chicken, and then with that leftovers, maybe another night you're having chicken wraps, a chicken and strawberry spinach salad, just doing different things with the leftovers. So again, you can kind of factor that into your planning. So step one is planning. Step two is the shopping, which again, when I've asked people like, what's the average cost right now of groceries? It is up for all of us. It is up significantly. And so one of the first things I want to encourage you is before you go to the grocery store is go to your pantry, go to your refrigerator, go to your freezer, shop there first. It's even good practice to take an inventory. Frankly, just write that down. What do you have in there? And making your first plan with those things. That is a huge opportunity to save on costs using what you've got on hand. Again, that's going to reduce the food waste. It's going to save you a trip to the store. And it's just a great way to, again, kind of clear out space and make room then for new. I do want to talk a little bit. I have some great tips that I have gathered from some colleagues too. We put these together as a group the other night. So when we talk about, okay, going out to the grocery store, a few things that you can think about. First of all, I think Dr. Katrina is still on here with us, but she is so great about sharing this in her program too. Shop the perimeter of your grocery stores. Those are the healthy areas, right? That's where you're going to get your whole foods, your produce, your veggies. That was a great tip I got from my friend Tammy. But shop that perimeter of your grocery store. That's where you're going to get your fresh meats, your less processed food, frankly. And that's where the cost will be lower, buying those whole foods. And then going into the middle of the grocery store and getting maybe pantry staples. So again, think of stocking up on staples such as grains, pasta, or even frozen veggies. Frozen veggies are a great alternative that can, again, reduce food waste, but also ensure that you always have something on hand if you're not making that trip to the store to get fresh. Also, great tip that was shared, and I don't take advantage of this one enough, if I'm being honest, and that's shopping with your online pickup. So just making your plan, shopping from your list, putting it in your online cart, and then just picking that up. There is a lot of money that can be spent on impulse buys, or again, grabbing stuff that maybe you didn't have a plan for and you might eventually be wasting. Also, when it comes to meat, that is for most of us the biggest part of our budget right now. So I want to give you a few tips. First, bulk. Is there an opportunity for you to buy in bulk, whether that's a membership store, whether that's at your local butcher that does meat in bulk, or do you have a farmer or a connection to a farm where they do oftentimes throughout the year, you can buy a portion of pork or beef, or maybe even get fresh chicken. So that's some tips around shopping. Again, oh, I know we spend 40% more on impulses when we're in the grocery store. So that's a big deal. So wanting just to give you some tips around that. So number one, planning. Number two, shopping. And then number three, cook. When we are cooking at home, we are going to make healthier choices. We are going to be spending less than if we go out to eat. It is the healthiest and most cost efficient way to make food because we can control those ingredients. We know just what we're cooking with, unlike takeout or processed foods, which are going to be much higher in sodium, other things high in sugar, high in those inflammatory cooking oils. And for those of us that are watching some food allergies, we are potentially going to be exposed to those going out. So I am passionate about home cooking. I cook at home to save, but cooking at home also doesn't mean that you need to cook every night. So again, that idea of cooking once, eating 2 or 3 nights, that is definitely something I'm a big fan of. And there's a few other ways around that I'd like to talk about. So batch cooking is a term that you'll hear people talk about. And batch cooking is a great way to stretch your budget and make those other nights easier. So, for example, I did want to share with you guys, and I can actually, I don't know why I feel like I need to show you guys, but I just did a crock pot meal, right? We can all agree crock pot can be a great time saver, but I had a crock pot that I did 3 pounds of chicken because that is what I found on sale. And I used one of our favorites, Epicure's pulled pork seasoning. This pack brings so much seasoning that I only needed half of it. I had 3 pounds of shredded chicken then. And for us, that has been pulled pork, pulled chicken sandwiches, pulled chicken tacos, and it is going to be a pan of enchiladas made up for tomorrow. So one meal done multiple different ways, but my cost on this has been, what my cost for the chicken was $9 because I found it on sale. $9 total, 1 pack of Epicure, some ketchup and brown sugar, and then some tortillas and different things. But I am making 3 different meals, and I can confidently say I'm making 3 different meals total for less than $20. If my son and I had gone out to eat one night, it would have been more than that. So this is multiple meals, multiple servings, right? So batch cooking can be something as simple as that. I know some people too will do where they'll prep up ground meat in bulk and then do it for different things. So it can go for spaghetti sauce, it can go for taco night, it can go for a tortellini and spinach soup, right? There's different things that you can do. It doesn't have to be the same thing where it's meatloaf Monday, taco Tuesday. We have no idea what we're doing Wednesday. Like you can use batch cooking to help you. And then with cooking, one of the things I love and I'm really starting to embrace more and more is just the versatility of our packs. So again, I'm speaking to you guys because you're familiar with our brand, but in addition to the delicious recipes on the pack that you'll find more on our website. But then there is so much freedom truly in different ways that you can use this. So I know our Facebook community and Pinterest community has just so many foodies who have come up with other ideas too. So don't, as you're shopping and looking in your pantry at your Epicure, don't think like, oh, well, I don't like enchiladas. This time of year, this will make great enchilada burgers There's a great sweet potato stew. There's a ton of different things that you can do with these products. And again, cooking at home is going to allow for some versatility. Also, did you know that cooking is actually really good for your mental health? It is a creative outlet. And even if you are not a foodie, that's why, as somebody who's not, I am not normally so, toss stuff in the pan, but there gets to be some creativity, even just following a recipe and putting foods together that is really good for your mental health. This is a huge one, and I probably should have led with this, but I had read a study Columbia University did, and the importance of family mealtime. So whether, again, that is you or people in your community, this is really important. Did you know that kids and teens who share a family meal at least 3 times per week with their family, these are huge, you guys. First of all, they're more likely to eat healthy food. This is modeled to them. They see the normalness of prepping and cooking and eating healthy food. You just normalize this for them when you're doing that together as a family. These teens and children were also less likely to be overweight. And again, we know this, that so many of the chronic illnesses and diseases we're seeing are helped when we are eating, cooking and eating at home. Statistically, these children also perform better in school. They also are less likely to engage in risky behavior, and they have better relationships with their parents. So whatever I can do to stack these things in my son's favor, I'm all for. So those are kind of my 3 easy steps for meal planning, and it's plan, shop, and cook. So again, planning can be something as simple as go to your pantry. Let me go grab this right now, actually, guys. If you are like so many friends that I know, you have Epicure sitting in your pantry. So when you are planning, this can be really simple. Again, get your family to get involved within reason, of course, but you might lay out several of your meal packs and say, hey, what would you guys like to have for dinner next week? That is going to have you using some of what you've got there. So in the planning portion, you're going to get some inspiration. You can also think ahead again about some of these meals are going to be more than one, but we'll get there. So I've just grabbed out 3 random ones, but they're actually 3 that allow for multiple meals. Something else that I want to hit on is ignore the name on the package. I guess is probably the easiest way to say this. There are so many of these that you might have, and you might say, we don't do beef, or I don't want to do beef dip. Again, there is so much versatility in these different seasonings, and it's just about adding flavor to what do you love. So I will take our family. This has been one, we use a lot of things and we do it into meatballs. First of all, it's a great opportunity to prep ahead and freeze food, but it's also just a great family-friendly meal. So I can prep ahead a whole bunch of meatballs, and I've actually done it. I didn't even do this intentionally, but I grabbed out Italian meatball, which is, of course, fantastic meatballs. But I've also done chicken or turkey meatballs with the Portuguese chicken. It's just because it's got those great flavors: paprika, red bell pepper, onion, chili pepper, oregano. You're just seasoning up. Again, I'm going to talk about protein right now, but because that's just, I think of how I start my meal plan. But this has been great for meatballs. And then last, beef dip. I've also made this into meatballs. And again, there's no beef in here, so I've done it with ground turkey. I have done it with ground beef. But these cover a lot of protein. So another great thing to do is use these to season up your veggies. So potatoes are a great one this time of year. Maybe it's zucchini and yellow squash that you want to do. And again, you can decide what is your preferred cooking method. Is it going to be in your steamer because you know you can have it done really fast? Is it a crock pot meal? Is it something you're going to toss out onto the grill? Or do you have an air fryer recipe that you love? So what I want to encourage you to do is to go and get a couple of your packs and make a plan this weekend. So grab out a couple of your packs. Now you can also make your grocery shopping list or make your shop list from the back. So again, this might be what you're going to look for first in your pantry and freezer, or it might be stuff that you're going to then look for at the grocery store. And then just making, setting out that schedule onto when you're going to cook that so that you can enjoy that meal. So is that helpful so far, what I've kind of shared? Yes, cooking is a relaxing time, Meredith shared, because of creativity. Yes, thank you for that. I'm glad that you are liking this. Hey, Jason. Oh, yes, that $1,400 could buy your season pass to Universal or that take that trip to Disney for sure. For sure, for sure. Yeah, you guys. So again, what I wanted to just show you, oh, I did want to say one other thing. So I know sometimes people will say too, like we're a bigger family or like we don't have leftovers. So one of the things you can do is oftentimes our meals, if you've gotten some of these, you might have multiples. So I find that I can always add more veggies and protein to a meal than it calls for. So I design it to get more leftovers. But if you're a big family and prepping for more than one night might for you mean that you need to make 2 packs. So that'll just be something you can decide. How does that look best for you? Again, what we did is we had this pulled chicken for a couple of nights, but I also knew that I have several packs of this enchilada. So I've just cooked up this enchilada sauce. So now I could have made this into a soup and use the same pot, but I know that my boys love enchiladas, and my husband will be coming back home tomorrow. So I'm actually just going to prep ahead. Again, I've got time tonight, so I'm going to prep ahead some enchiladas. These will just keep right in the refrigerator. The dinner will be ready. And again, this can be another meal planning tip for you. You can have this prepped ahead, and then tomorrow, first one home gets to put this into the microwave. Dinner is done. So tomorrow I don't actually have to prep anything. Maybe I'll put together some guacamole for this, but dinner is essentially done. There have been nights for us where this has happened at dinner time, and after dinner, while my husband is doing dishes, I'm making the next meal with it right away. So again, just some tips for you around meal planning. So you're going to get to decide what that looks like for you. And if you are someone that you like some directions, I do want to just remind you every month, and now even more frequently, we have free menu planners, and I'm happy to send these to you. So you can just reach out to me, respond to the email if that's how you got the invitation, or reach out to me on Facebook. But there is three free meal planners that I can share with you guys right now. There is one that we are calling Cook to Save, and it has that whole idea of pulled pork was one of the meals. They featured it as pulled pork sandwiches, pulled pork quesadillas, and then a pulled pork stew. So I'm happy to share this with you. Some other meals in this plan, we're using the rotisserie chicken, the rosé sauce, and the beef and broccoli. So if those are ones that you know you have in your pantry, message me. I can drop this to you. It's a totally free meal planner. It has the recipes and it has the grocery shopping list. And always, again, what I'm going to encourage you is when you're looking at these recipes and these shopping lists, substitute in for what you know and love or what you find sales on. So last tip around, oh wait, no, I don't want to say that. So second one that I can share with is, of course, the Epic Box. Every month, Epicure, we send out our subscription box. There is another 7 meals that are planned out, grocery shopping lists and recipes. So if you want to see, again, what was in the April Epic Box, I can share that with you, or I can send you the May, The May subscribers, you guys are going to be really excited. It's going to be a great Cinco de Mayo. It's going to be a great May with your Epic box. And then last though not least is the 3 weeks of easy dinners. So again, if your pantry looks much like mine, where you have a bunch of these meal packs, real life, guys, don't cut them at the bottom when you're saving it. But this is real life. If you have a variety, you might have some of them that come in the 3 weeks of easy dinners. So again, I can share these meal plans with you. They are on the website. They are totally free. If it makes it easier for me to give them to you, I'm happy to do it. It is my joy and my job, and I would love to share those with you. But they, again, come with the recipes. They come with the grocery shopping list to make it easy for you. But again, meal planning can be as easy as plan, shop, and cook. So last tip I want to give you, and then let's have some conversations. I invited you to bring 3 meal packs. So maybe you've got some that you want to ask questions about and we can share together. But you guys, this has to be one of my best tips that I have found lately. Get to know your grocery store or talk to the people in your grocery store. Biggest way I'm saving on protein right now is I'm buying meat that is near expiration. So I was at the grocery store, and again, this meat doesn't actually expire until I think it was Saturday. Yeah, no, it's tomorrow. So tomorrow, sorry, but it's half off organic chicken. Like I never see this. So it was actually cheaper than the traditional chicken. So guess what? I have another 3 pounds of chicken. I'm going to empty those into the bag. I'm going to season before I'm freezing. This is a great way to prep ahead some meals as well. So I'm going to empty those in there. I'm going to use the other half of my pulled pork, add that in there. I will label my bag, of course, and I'm going to pop that into the freezer. But now I have saved on the cost. I've done a little work ahead. And so again, that busy week where I need a meal that's quick and easy, or something changed. We were supposed to be, home and we're going to go camping. I'm going to grab a meal like this because I can easily throw it into the crock pot. But again, I'm going to make a meal. I'm going to make several meals for $9 with 3 pounds of chicken. So I just get really excited about that. So I hope you found that helpful. I hope that you feel like, yes, I can do this. And remember, whatever that reason was that resonated with you, is it that cost savings because you know you've got something that you can do with $1,400 that is better than stuffing it into the garbage can? Awesome. Maybe it's because you have littles that you want to just show them how to eat well and you want to have that family time at the end of the day. Awesome. Maybe it's just that you are sick and tired of not knowing what's for dinner. And so on that day, when your thinking cap is on a little better and you can plan this out, you can make a plan for your family. So again, I invite questions. I invite discussion. So you guys can come off of mute. I'm going to go over and see what some of these might have been. And I wanted to say thank you again to everybody who jumped on. I would really, truly would love your feedback from this. If there was things that were helpful, private message me. I'm going to put all your names into the wheel spinner later, and I'm going to send out some of the meals that are in our Cook to Save. And I hope that it will bless you and your loved ones. Let me see what some of these were. I thought I saw a question come up. I have an Epicure steamer, but don't know how to use it for pasta or rice. Oh, for sure. I won't demo tonight, Katrina, but I can talk to this really quickly. And then I can also share, I've done a few videos about this. For me, I'll talk to rice because that's probably the thing I've done the most. So for me, I enjoy to do 1 cup rice. So I do a jasmine rice, but I follow essentially the recipe on the back of the package. 1 cup of rice, 2 to 2.5 cups of water. And then if you like it plain, just do it just like that. It goes into your microwave. My microwave is 14 minutes. 1 cup, 2 cups of water, 14 minutes. I also use that as an opportunity to add in some other seasonings. I love to do the broth. I love to put in 3 onion. I like to put in like the crispy, crunchy lettuce wraps. Some of those Asian seasonings that have got great ginger and garlic, those are fantastic in rice. So that is what I would do with rice. Pasta is honestly, I will follow the directions on the back. A lot of times, pasta will have a microwave instruction. So I put in my pasta, I make sure that I've covered it with enough water. I do not use the lid. In both of those examples, there is a lot of water. And so when this is on there, it just creates a lot of boil and you're going to get boil over. So my gluten-free pasta, I feel like takes longer, but I'm cooking my gluten-free pasta for 12 minutes for elbows. But spaghetti, I think normal spaghetti, people have done it in 6 to 8 minutes. And if another one of my teammates is on and wants to chime in, you sure can. Or somebody else that's, cooked with their steamer.
I was going to say for pasta, it's usually right around the amount of time that the back of the package says, maybe a minute or two longer, but you don't have to boil water. So you save a ton of time there.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of my biggest things is I'm not babysitting a pot. So noodles can be cooking, rice can be cooking, and I'm setting the table. So again, when it comes to time saving, I also will prep. Rice is one that I will prep in bulk. So I still have a steamer from earlier in the week. I still have a little bit of rice left, and I just leave it in here because I also use it as my reheating container. So one pot, and it stays in action until the rice is done. Yes. And my coconut rice is my favorite, my mom's favorite as well. So I do 1.5 cups of rice, 1 can of coconut milk, 1 can of water. And it's that easy. Like I like to add garlic salt, but that's it. Yes, a preteen who is a bottomless pit. Right. So again, you can adjust all of these recipes to make sure you have enough servings for everyone. Again, if you're following the recipe on the back, it's going to say 4 servings. I almost always am getting at least 6 servings because I just bulk it up with more veggies, more protein. Does the pre-seasoning work for most of the proteins prior to freezing? Absolutely. That's a great question. Yes, in my opinion, it totally does. And it works for a variety of proteins. And again, I'm talking to the carnivores when I talk about meats, but also the vegetarians love our seasonings for their proteins, whether it's beans or tofu and things like that. I just can't speak to the freezing, but pre-seasoning works amazing. And again, you've already thought ahead about, you're kind of committing, like once you put that chicken in with your pulled pork seasoning, like it's going to have that flavor. So you can't go Greek chicken afterwards. But yeah, the pre-seasoning totally works. Yes, guacamole is a great seasoning in rice. Yes, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Okay, so the little rack, that's a great question. You guys are on it tonight. Okay, I love this. So the little rack that comes in here, I feel like I need to do another steamer class, and I can definitely do that. So this is most often used. You can use it. I used to use it to block the boil over, but I don't need to. So I don't use it anymore. If you've seen me in any early videos, I used to put this with my noodles and rice, and that was just another thing to clean. Now what I use it for is if I want to cook meatballs, I will cook them up on the tray and then the grease drains away. Don't have to, it's just a choice. Bacon. I know there's a lot of people on here who have used this for bacon. So bacon, turkey bacon, you can lay it out in strips. Don't have it overlapping. It's really fun. You can get more in there if you twist a couple times. You will put it on your tray and you will cover it because that's going to keep it from splattering. But then you can have bacon in minutes in your microwave. No stove splatter, no whole kitchen smelling like bacon. You can also use this for tiered meals. So maybe you have some veggies on the bottom, that frozen veggies you want to get started first. And then you want to pop this in with some fish and steam it, or shrimp. The fish won't need to cook as long, but that's a great way to do it. If you are one that has picky eaters, my friend Sherry does chicken fajitas. This is her picky separator. Her daughter Katie will not eat it if foods have touched. So chicken is on the bottom, her bell peppers and onions are on top. Is that helpful? Those are some of the big ones. The other thing that's really fun, this also becomes your trivet. So if you haven't used it for cooking, but you have it, this can go on the table this way, your picnic table or whatever. And fun fact, coming into summer, I will just share a couple other things. So this makes a great big block of ice. So for those of you that are heading out to baseball fields, going out to your campers, freeze this, they will pop out huge blocks of ice, which makes it really great. This also floats. So for your busy ladies, at the end of the day, if you want to pop some popcorn, take a bath, this will float in your tub and you can have popcorn and snack in the tub. Yes, there is a steamer card, and I can make sure I send that to you too, Katrina. Yes, and I use this a lot for steaming veggies. I don't use the rack most often because I just don't want to have something else say dirty. And for the three of us, I will load this up with a bunch of veggies. It can be frozen veggies, it can be fresh. Summertime, Illinois corn. Let's talk about it. So take your ears of corn and they can go right in here with the lid on. You do not need to pull the husk off. Once it steams, and it's about 2 to 3 minutes per ear, the corn, I will chop off the ends, but I put them in there still in their silks and their husks. Once they come out, I'll use my hot oven mitt, but then the corn will just pop right out, no silks. So that is fantastic for fresh corn. I know you grow a bunch of veggies too, Katrina, so you can totally just steam those veggies in here. You do not have to add any water. Again, it's really healthy. You're not adding extra oil. And I do have a steamer cookbook so that I created. So if you didn't get that, I can make sure I send that to you. Okay, I feel like I've talked a lot in 40 minutes, but I invited you to bring 3 packs. So I'm curious, did anybody bring packs to make a plan? I really hope that at the end of this, what I really want is for you to take action to use up a little bit of your Epicure. Again, if it's something that I can share a recipe for you, like we really want to try beef dip, but like, please share that with us. There's actually some foodies on here that love to create recipes, so they're going to help me out. I taught you guys all so well. You've got everything mastered. Go ahead. I think I saw heard somebody unmute. Go ahead.
It's Katrina. I was going to share something like during Lent. So in terms of like a quick fish, meal, we did salmon and we used the mango curry.
Oh, nice.
And some vegetables and just did like kind of a stir fry with the salmon and the veggies and then put it over rice. But the mango curry seasoning was just something quick just to make it like, feel like we were cooking.
Yes, that's so good. And I think that's why of course I'm biased. I love Epicure because I feel like I'm a cook and it's just opening a jar. So that same meal, you could do next time and you pick a different jar and like, oh, well, now instead of getting this curry meal, like we're going to travel over here and we're going to do it with this flavor. So you just get these different cuisines and different tastes that you get to experience. So
the other thing was like my husband likes he's always asking about like a dip, he wants a dip for his chips or whatever. Instead of eating chips that like Ruffles, he wants to eat like the Scoops Tostitos. And so what I did is I used like Greek yogurt and then I used the lemon deli and made that. And so that it's already available. So that when he comes home, he's not thinking about grabbing. And then plus it's like he gets his Greek yogurt, right? And the other thing I used also is the poca picante for the crushed or diced tomatoes. And then he has a salsa. So I
love that.
Yeah. So yeah, just a few ideas, but
those are so great. And I know we've done some great meal planning workshops together. So I've learned from your workshops too. So thank you, Katrina.
Thank you.
Katrina has a dietitian that works with her team as well. And that's where I've gotten a lot of information about, like, I had the question about fresh veggies versus frozen versus canned, right? And she was just so great in just sharing that insight that yes, of course, like if we can get local, fresh produce, that's going to be great. But there are times when it's not in season or just cost prohibitive. Frozen is a great alternative. And then behind that being the canned veggies. So I just like to share that as well. And I love the idea, the reminder too, oftentimes as I'm sitting here looking at like beef dip, if any of you friends have gotten this in your Epic box, in any of your things, this is, it's another one of just total versatility. Fantastic French onion dip. So Katrina, if you have this one or anybody, Greek yogurt or sour cream and a little bit of mayonnaise if you want a little creaminess, and then a couple of tablespoons of this. So again, you're going to get a lot. There's a lot of seasoning in here. It's a fantastic French onion dip. It will put the grocery store stuff to shame in more ways than one because it is so low in sodium. It doesn't have any added junk and it has just 1 gram of sugar. Big on flavor though. So again, just so many different ways that you can use even a Portuguese chicken. Makes a great sauce to drizzle over top of some smashed potatoes or do it as potato chips. Oh, fun fact, since you asked about it, Katrina, you could make Mark potato chips. I did this recently with potato, slice it really thin on your mandolin, and you can lay out potatoes, not overlapping, but you just lay them out on the tray, or you could put your tray in your steamer, of course, but no lid, and then season it. So again, if you like the flavor, you could do some mango curry chips, or you could do you could do any seasoning you want on the potato chips, but they just go into the microwave for, what did I do? I think mine were 3 minutes. It's unbelievable. They are so crispy. There is no cooking oil. It was amazing. So yes, you can probably only make like 8 or 10 potato chips at a time, but for just a couple of minutes, it was really fun. And even my son was like, "You made potato chips?" Like it was really fun. So sweet potatoes or potato chips. So I hope that was helpful. You guys, anyone else have questions? Anybody else have experience? Like something that has made a difference for you since you have been using your Epic here? I just would love for people to share. I know in our community, we had somebody share that she helped a family member start to meal plan and put similar practices to what I just talked about into play. They used to just kind of wing it. But now in planning out their meals and shopping and being able to prep ahead lunches and things like that, they have cut their grocery costs in half. In half for a family that is multiple adults and then children that are living in this home, like a multi-generational home. They have cut the grocery bill in half in just a really short time, as well as now they're showing this younger generation and normalizing this meal prep. But there was a great picture that was shared, and I'll drop it into my group. But these 2 young men are prepping lunches for everyone. So again, in a pack and a couple of ingredients, they have made lunches for everyone. And nobody is going through the takeout line. Everybody's eating healthier. And these young boys are having an active role in that. So I love stuff like that.
I was going to share something. I just got reminded when you talked about cook once and eat twice. So I made that mac and cheese and I split it. And so half of it was just the mac and cheese, like what the pack said. But then there's that option where to make it like Mexican mac and cheese. And so I had made that salsa, and I used half of that salsa that I made and put it in for the other batch of the mac and cheese. Did 2 different flavors of mac and cheese. One for each day.
That's a great one. That's a great one. Yeah, there's even a couple of recipes right on the pack. That's great. I love that. So great ideas. I hope, again, I mean, I simplified it, but I hope that you still got something that you took away from this. But plan, shop, cook. Meal planning as easy as 1, 2, 3. So I challenge you guys in the recipe group, in the Good Food with Stacie group, post what you are cooking in the next week. I don't need to see your whole meal plan. I invite you to share it with us, of course, but I just encourage you. Like, you have Epicure. I know you've got stuff in there, but this can be a fun time to try a new recipe or try a new way to use something using what you've got in your pantry, in your freezer right now, and then share it in that group. I just would love to see us sharing. It doesn't have to always be me. You guys do this. You're feeding your family. You send these pictures to me, but share it in that group. So again, we can just have some fun and just see what people are cooking up. So I thank you again so much for being here. I will stay on if anybody has any questions, or I can help you one-on-one. I can do that here, or I can, of course, set up another call with you. But my intention tonight was just to share with you some tips and tricks. Again, I can send you out those free meal planners if that's helpful. And just thank you so much for being curious to learn more. You got it. I'll send them to everybody. I think I've captured everybody's name here. Thank you so much, everybody who is here. Hey, Jason, I didn't see you jump on. Hi, Nilsa. I'm just trying to manage technology in multiple ways. Thanks again to the two Tammys, to Mom, to Katrina. I welcome honest feedback, like any ways that I can make this better. What I would like to do is to also share this to people who don't yet know Epicure, as a way to just help more people. Like, I just really think that we can be doing a better job. So I invite any honest feedback, and yeah, look forward to seeing what you're cooking up in your kitchen. Thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Stacie.